This is not a dream.
3, 2, 1.
Muhammad and his sexual slaves, morality or hypocrisy. A critical analysis. Muhammad is considered a model of morality in Islam. But is his treatment of female slaves, including the sexual exploitation of women captured in wars, in line with any moral standard? Does Islam truly allow sexual slavery? In this analysis, we present Islamic sources, hadiths and the Quran, to examine whether Muhammad was truly an example of virtue or rather a man who justified his actions through divine revelations. Subscribe to the channel. Support us on Buy Me a Coffee. Share this video to spread awareness. Can a person be moral while owning sexual slaves? Can one teach about the sanctity of marriage while treating women as property? Today, we will examine one of the most controversial aspects of Muhammad's biography, his approach to sexual slavery and the treatment of women captured in wars. 1. Islam and sexual slavery. What does the Quran say? Islamic sources. Quran 4:24, and, forbidden to you are married women, except those your right hands possess, i.e., slave women captured in war. Quran 33:50 Muhammad is given special privileges, including the right to have concubines. Sahih al-Bukhari 6829 Muhammad allows his followers to have intercourse with slave women. Sunan Abu Dawud 2150 Muhammad permits his warriors to have sex with captured women. Analysis. The Quran not only permits but explicitly justifies sexual slavery if a woman has been captured in war. There is no mention of her consent, only the right of the conqueror is considered. In contrast, Christianity teaches that all people are equal before God Galatians 3:28, and that women should be treated with love and respect, not as sexual objects Ephesians 5:25-28. 2. Maria the Copt, a Christian woman is Muhammad's slave. Islamic sources. Al-Tabari, History of Prophets and Kings. Ibn Said, Kitab al-Tabaqat al-Kabir. Maria was a Christian from Egypt, given to Muhammad as a gift by the governor of Egypt. She was not his wife but a sexual slave. She bore him a son, Ibrahim, who died as a child. Analysis. Maria had no choice, she was given to Muhammad as a gift. Muhammad did not free her, even though Christianity teaches that a free person should remain free 1 Corinthians 7:21. Jesus never owned slaves, yet Muhammad had several. Can he truly be considered a moral role model? 3. Safiyyah, victim of massacre, wife or captive. Islamic sources. Sahih Muslim 1365 Sunan Abu Dawud 3006. Ibn Ishaq, Sirat Rasul Allah. Safiyyah was a Jewish woman whose father, husband, and relatives were killed by Muhammad and his men during the conquest of Khaybar. After her husband's death, Muhammad took her to his tent and married her that same night. Analysis. If a woman has lost her entire family and is then married to the conqueror, can we call it a voluntary marriage? The Bible forbids forcing sex on women Deuteronomy 22:25-27, yet Muhammad himself benefited from this practice. 4. Sex with women whose husbands were still alive. Islamic sources. Quran 4:24 Islam allows intercourse with slave women, even if they are married. Sunan Abu Dawud 2150 Muhammad does not forbid rape of captured women. Sahih Muslim 3371 Muhammad permits intercourse with enslaved women. Analysis. Christianity teaches that adultery is a sin 1 Corinthians 6:9-10 yet Muhammad allowed sex with women who had husbands. Jesus said, "But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Matthew 5:28. Yet Muhammad explicitly allowed the sexual use of enslaved women. 5. Conclusion. Can Muhammad be a moral role model? Key points. Check mark he owned sexual slaves instead of freeing them. Check mark he and his men kidnapped women and allowed their rape. Check mark he received a Christian woman as a gift and treated her as property. Check mark he married a woman immediately after slaughtering her family. Can a man who practiced and endorsed the sexual exploitation of women be considered a moral example? Christianity is clear. Every person, regardless of gender or status, is created in the image of God and has inherent dignity Genesis 1:27. Muhammad not only disregarded this principle but implemented laws that justified sexual slavery. What do you think? Can Islam be a religion of morality? Share your opinion in the comments. Bell subscribe to the channel. Money bag support us on Buy Me a Coffee. Loudspeaker share this video to spread awareness. Also, check out our other videos on this channel. More content on the true legacy of Muhammad is coming soon. Stay with us.
The promise of the resurrection and eternal life. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life is central to Christian belief. The resurrection of Jesus is the first fruits of the resurrection that all believers will experience at the end of time. The Catholic Church teaches that the resurrection of the body and the life of the world to come are the fulfillment of God's eternal plan of salvation, where all who are faithful to Jesus Christ will enjoy eternal happiness with God in heaven. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life is central to Christian belief. The resurrection of Jesus is the first fruits of the resurrection that all believers will experience at the end of time. The Church teaches that the resurrection of the body and the life of the world to come are the fulfillment of God's eternal plan of salvation, where all who are faithful to Jesus Christ will enjoy eternal happiness with God in heaven. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life is central to Christian belief. The resurrection of Jesus is the first fruits of the resurrection that all believers will experience at the end of time. The resurrection and eternal life. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life. The promise of the resurrection and eternal life.